Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 121 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. If you thought we were tired last week, it's got nothing on this week. Absolutely wiped out completely this week from that trip to Charlton. It's a lot, wasn't it? And we stayed over. We didn't even do it all in one day, so... yeah, just
kudos to those who did.
Yeah, it was a bit much, but yeah, there we go. Look, coming up on this week's show, we are going to talk about Huddersfield and the Charlton game as well. We're going to look ahead to our FA Cup first round game against Harrogate Town, which is now on Sunday. We're going to talk about the new signings. A couple of free agents popped in until January. And of course we're going to do the quiz and all that malarkey and usual stuff. Well, I think when you're tired, I think the quiz goes better for you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Not sure to be honest. But yeah, there we go. So what should we talk about first?
Let's
Signings.
talk about Matty James and John Daddy Bodvarsson.
But is it Bodvarsson or Bodvarsson?
Bodvarsson, I don't know.
No. Anyway, yeah, look, two new signings. I don't think they went a huge shock, were they? We got George Evans out with an injury. And so obviously Matty James has come in as sort of like cover for him.
In case.
Yeah, just in case. How much game time he's going to get, I don't really know. George Evans
might get some in the Harrogate game, maybe.
Maybe if he's ready. I don't know. I know he was on the bench on Saturday, but I'm not.
If he was on the
sure.
bench, he's obviously ready.
Yeah,
Parky won't put him on the bench.
Maybe. So he covered for George Evans. George Evans wasn't getting loads of game time anyway because of George Dobson filling in that role. So I'm guessing it'll be pass the baton to Matty James, who also won't get very much game time. It's just, I think it's purely there as cover, really. You know, when probably George Dobson gets his fifth yellow card and he's out, we need someone to step in. That person can't be George Evans because he's injured, so we need someone else. Although you have to wonder a little bit, we do have JJ who could play in that position.
Yep.
So, you know, did we really need extra cover? I don't know. But so where does Matty James fit in? Is he now next in line behind George Dobson, or does it go George Dobson, you know, JJ and then Matty James? I don't know. I'm not sure, to be honest. Look,
I don't think Matty James cares. He was a free agent, so he's in a club now, so he's getting paid.
That's true. And we were talking about this, weren't we? It's win-win for the player because, you know, if they come in and they get game time, but they get released at the end of this short contract, which is until January, they've put themselves in the shop window, as you say in football, you know, and players go, oh yeah, I forgot about him. So yeah, we'll have a look at him. So that's a win for him. If they come in and they don't play at all, they're getting to train with the team, you know, on a daily basis. They're getting that sort of travelling on the bus with the team. They're getting that team sort of environment back.
Yeah.
Which they haven't had because they've been free agents. So, you know, whether they play or they don't, the players getting something from it, I think, you know, in this instance. How old's he? 33?
One of them's 33, one of them's 32. I can never remember which one's which.
Yeah, Matty James is 33 then. He's definitely the older of the two.
There you go.
So yeah, he's played for Leicester. He played for Preston for a bit. Leicester, he played for quite a long time. Went out on loan, I think, at Barnsley, Coventry. Most recently, he was at Bristol City. He was there for 3 years.
Most recently, he was at Wrexham.
Well, yeah, he's at Wrexham now. I mean, most recently, prior, he was at Bristol City. He was there for 3 years. I think he played 100-odd games for them. So,
yep. 7 goals.
Yeah, I don't. Again, I think he's very defensive midfielder, a bit like George Dobson. George Dobson's not a scorer, is he?
No, he could have scored a few times at the Charlton game, and he passed it.
It's an integral part of the team, but not necessarily with chipping in with goals.
Yeah,
that sort of
but
thing.
7's quite good if you're not that way inclined.
Over 3 seasons, is it? I suppose.
Well, if you're not a scorer,
yeah. So that's the first one. Second one, John Daddy Bodvarsson. Striker, most recently played.
First Icelandic player to play for Wrexham.
Is he? I did wonder about that, but I never checked it. Are you stating that as a fact?
Yes. I don't know. I think so.
Yeah, I'd go. I can't remember any others. Let's put it like that. But not that I have watched them since 1864. But they
could have been in 1863, 1983. I don't know.
But again, another. So the reason, if anyone's wondering why we've brought him in, Stephen Fletcher. Obviously, we lost Marriott. Parky. I saw an interview with Parky where he was like, "I'm not going to dip a toe into the free agent market because I'm happy with what I've got." Then Stephen Fletcher went down and he had to sort of reverse that a little bit and go out and get something to replace. I think he hasn't necessarily looked to go and replace Marriott because I think the feeling is that Mullins going to be playing week in, week out now. But as Mullins' partner, you've then got Palmer, who can't get past 65 minutes. You've got Fletcher, who we all know is a half an hour man.
Yeah, which he's quite happy with, I think.
Yeah, I think so, and I think we are. That's what it is. Then you've got Mo Farl, who a lot of people are of the belief he's not really ready for it.
I'm still on the bench with Mo Farl.
Fence or bench? You said bench. I'm still on the bench.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, on the fence.
I'm still on the fence.
You're on the fence, he's on the bench.
Yeah.
That's what you meant to say.
I think, I'm still on the fence.
Yes.
With Mo Farl.
Yeah, I know.
I think massive potential.
We just haven't seen enough of him.
We just haven't seen enough of him, no.
So that's why we needed another sort of Mullin partner in there. With Fletcher going down, that's why we needed another one. Although there is an argument for saying maybe we should have started chucking Mo Farl in and just to see if he sinks or swims, and just, a little bit of a baptism. Hang on, let me say that again. Baptism of fire, perhaps of just going, well, let's see what you can do then. Go on, there's your chance.
I think for now, I think Mo Farl needs to be playing like the trophy games. Just to ease him in. I think the league is too important for letting somebody just
give it a go.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the moment, I think we're, I know we're only a few games in still. We're not we're not even halfway through the season yet. Or are we? No, we're not.
No, nowhere near.
No. So I think maybe the decision to bring Bodvarsson, I have to say it like that all the time.
Why?
I don't know. I just like saying it like that.
Okay.
I think was a good call. But saying that, I haven't seen Bodvarsson play yet, so...
But I think you're putting a D in where there isn't one.
B-O-D?
Bodvarsson, isn't it? Not Bodvarsson.
Bodvarsson.
Bodvarsson. I don't know, anyway. He's played for, Wolves. Mm-hmm. He's played for Bolton. There was a Bolton fan we saw on X, didn't they, saying, don't listen to anybody else. He's a decent striker, better than some of the ones that we've got already. I don't know whether that's the general consensus among Bolton fans. I don't think it is, from what I've read.
But we'll just go with his
we'll just go with that one. One opinion that we've seen. They said he was a decent player. I don't know. He looks a big lad. I don't know. It's one of them. Again, you have to wonder how much game time he's actually going to get between now and January. He might, the odd fleeting appearance now and then. Appearance. But, as...
You're funny tired.
I know. As Jack Marriott will probably attest to, the odd fleeting appearance for 15, 10, 5 minutes in games doesn't really build up the necessary confidence for you to start producing on the pitch.
Yeah.
only when you start getting full games and proper game time, as again Jack can attest to, that's when you start to see results. So I don't know. I don't know how invaluable these players are going to be. More of a necessity, I'd probably say.
I think so.
Yeah, but you know, decent, I'd say. You know, to be bringing in players of a you know, a decent-ish caliber, not old, certainly not young. Deep bags of experience. Let's just see how it plays out, I think, innit? You know, you just don't know really. But
so if you would like to support the show, you can do so by visiting our Buy Me a Coffee page, and the link is buymeacoffee.com/me-the-wife. We'd just like to say thank you to Marta von Gray, who supported the show this week on Saturday, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. One quick point, just sorry to jump in, but there was a few people going, the link doesn't work.
I was literally just about to say that.
Sorry.
Probably that was my fault because you were poorly on the Monday that we released last week's podcast, so I got lumbered with the posting and I didn't check the link, so that's probably my fault.
But all you can do, if you do want to use the link and it's not turned into a hyperlink, so it's not blue and you can't click on it, you can just copy and paste it into a browser, and that's probably the best thing to do. But
also,
we'll have a little look and sort of see what was wrong with that, because I'm not 100%
Kent
sure.
Gilliford as well.
Yeah, well, I think we yes,
that
sorry.
was on last Tuesday.
Kent is doing very well in our fantasy EFL.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Kent. Can't forget you either. So yeah, thanks both to you. So the page is buymeacoffee.com. I can't remember.
/me-the-wife.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, there we go. Right, so let's talk about Huddersfield first and foremost, I think. So Tuesday marked 160 years since the very first Wrexham game.
Played against Prince of Wales Brigade, was it?
Fire Brigade, yeah.
Fire Brigade,
yes. They did indeed. I wasn't there.
No, it was very weird.
I was absolutely gutted, to be honest, because so we recorded last Sunday. You know, for the episode which went out on the Monday. I was excited about the game on Tuesday to be there for the 160th anniversary, the fact that it fell on a day of a game as well. You know, I was excited to go. I got up Monday morning ill, just really ill, like, I won't go into detail, but just ill. You know, sickness bug, I think, is the politest way to put it without going into detail. Yeah, so I was really bad on the Monday. Obviously, the game wasn't until the Tuesday. I think I was awake. I got up at 8:30 on the Tuesday. I went to bed at about 10 o'clock at night. But in that time, I think I was only awake for about 2.5 hours. We went to bed and I said to Siân, there's no chance I'm getting to sleep. Bang, out, another 10 hours done. So yeah, I was really rough, but I said to Siân, you know, go. She would have gone anyway, but she was halfway out the door when I was saying the sentence. But you went with my dad, your mum, and your cousin, Jane,
who went to university in Huddersfield, which is why. She wanted to go and watch them.
We didn't know why, did we?
No, I thought she went to university in Lancaster, but she lives in Lancaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, she went to Huddersfield Uni, and she said that her house that she had in the last year of her uni, you could see the Huddersfield ground.
Oh, right,
so,
okay. That's why she wanted to go then, yeah.
Yeah, but I think she just, I also think she wanted to see us, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
But she didn't get to see you, or Alfie, because Alfie decided he didn't want to go.
No, not
so,
at all.
So it was weird. It was a weird game, but it was a good game.
It was it was an unchanged lineup, wasn't it, from the Rotherham game?
Yep.
Cannon being in was probably the only surprise, I suppose, because he went off injured, didn't he, in the Rotherham game?
Yeah.
So we weren't 100% sure whether we were going to see him or not, but he was there.
He was.
So it was complete unchanged. It was Ollie Palmer's 600th career appearance. You know you're old when you're knocking them sort of numbers out of the park, don't you?
Yeah.
600th appearance. I mean, to get into your 100th, appearance, you're sort of going, you've got a bit of career in front of you, don't you? 600, you're going, that's a lot of games I've played.
I wonder if they bought him like one of those inflatable walking sticks and Zimmer frames.
Maybe.
To celebrate it.
I might be wrong here, but I seem to remember Ollie having a shirt with 500 on it when he was playing. So his 500th career appearance was for us as well.
Yeah.
Was it at Oldham? Or am I going absolutely mental? I thought, because I seem to remember Ollie with a shirt with 500 on the back.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I thought maybe that was at Oldham. Or was that Ben Tozer? They're all old, aren't they? They're all in the same bracket. But I'm sure somebody had it at
Ollie
Oldham.
Palmer definitely had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely
I'm
did.
sure
but
he
I don't
did.
know where it was and what game it was and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
I think before we talk about the game, we have to talk about the new back of shirt sponsor a little bit, don't we?
Yeah.
Because obviously Siân went off to the game, left me unwell at home.
You had Poppy looking after you.
Make of that what you will. But
Dedicated? Not to you.
Not to me, no. Yeah.
Definitely to Wrexham.
Definitely to the team. Not so much your husband.
Nah.
No, I wouldn't have wanted you just to stay at home anyway, so just do me head in. No. I was watching the game and I hadn't, when you're not well, you don't really, normally you scroll through social media, I read a lot of football news, all that sort of stuff. And when I'm not well, I don't do any of that. So I hadn't seen anything. I literally put the game on, sitting at home, and I think we were about 10 minutes in. And I went, does that say Meta Quest on the back of the shirts? And I was like, oh, this unreal, isn't it? I think if somebody mentioned that if you add up the company value of everybody who sponsors us in some way, that the cost is in the trillions now. Not money that we're getting, obviously, but the cost of the actual worth of these businesses that are sponsoring us. I'm not sure how I feel about having Zuckerberg money pumped into our club.
Didn't they've spoken to Zuckerberg? Like, they must have spoken to him directly.
No, I can't. Why would they? What business owner takes part in deals on the business's behalf? There's not many, is there? They'll have people who do that, teams of people who do deals.
Millions.
Yeah, but look, it's all good. It's all money, isn't it, coming into the club? And
just another thing for opposing fans to have a go at us about.
Yeah, but I'm past that now. I just bring the money in.
Yeah, bring on the money.
Just keep bringing money in.
From that film? Oh, bring me the money. Bring me the money. Show me the money. Yeah. I've never seen that film before.
No, it shows. It shows.
Show me the money. Oh.
But yeah, look, it was an interesting one.
They all had free Oculuses, I think.
They're called MetaQuest.
Oh, they call MetaQuest. Well,
yeah, that's why it says MetaQuest.
Well, Alfie's got one, and he was quite chuffed.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I play that. He's had one for a few years.
He didn't do it in that voice, though.
No, he didn't. I wasn't here when you told him, so I don't know. He could have done it in that voice.
He wasn't. I don't think he was that bothered. Maybe he went, oh, right, okay.
I think he is a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Something that he recognises. And
you've got an eyelash. It's really annoying me.
Oh, thanks.
Look at me again. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyway, the Huddersfield game.
Yeah, look, where were we? So the first real chance fell to Andy, really. It was that little side foot volley. I think it hit a defender, didn't it? And sort of bounced back from McLean's caress. Sorry, I can't even speak. I'm so tired.
Oh, get over it.
I will, yeah. Look, but I thought Barney was on fire again. Man of the match performance for me. I thought he was fantastic all the way through the game.
Yeah.
I thought he'd scored in the first half. He did that little Maisie run, didn't he? You like Maisie, run, don't you?
I like Maisie run, yeah.
He did that little Maisie run, got to the edge of the box, sort of dropped a shoulder or two, hit it. Keeper made a decent save, to be fair.
Did.
Pushed it round the post. There wasn't really many chances after that, though.
Hence the score.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I think that Barney chance sort of really, I thought it was one of them where you sort of go, oh, it's in, and then, oh, it's not. I tell you what I find, the question I keep asking myself about this podcast. Can we keep talking about how good Barney is every single week?
Yeah, well, just to remind people.
Yeah, I know. I don't
Hey,
think...
look, you know, we love Barney. He's an amazing player.
I just think we're going to run out of superlatives to talk about, to say about him, though, because that
What is that?
What's wrong with that?
Superlatives.
It's a word.
I know it's a word, but why are you using it when I'm in the room?
Yeah, I just think, you know, it's every week he's just proving that he can play at a lot higher level.
Well, did we talk about the two teams that are looking at him at the moment?
We didn't, no, so go on.
Well, I can only remember one of them.
Okay.
Stoke. I want to say Millwall, but that's not one, is it?
I don't know. I can't remember. I wasn't
He's got two,
at the time.
I think they're two championship teams.
Yeah.
Looking at him at the moment. But I can't see him jumping ship.
Yeah, I think it's
not with the way that we're going at the moment.
No, I think the thing that keeps players in at a club is how well the club is run from within.
Yeah.
So how you if you're not responding well to the training methods, or you don't really get on okay with your teammates, but you don't feel completely
They're not family.
Yes, that sort of thing. Then if an offer was to come in from a higher league, then I think that's the point where you go, well, this is all right. But
this could be better.
But that could be better, and I could get on better. I could enjoy the training more. I could get on board with the tactics a little bit more. But everything, I don't think a player would develop in the way that Barney has if he wasn't on board with everything that was going on at the club.
He's been with us since the National League,
Yes.
and he's come up with us through the stages. So
Yeah.
I think if he did decide to move on, which I don't think he will, I think he'd regret it. I really do think he would regret it.
I would say so, if
Where
I'm honest.
are you going?
Sorry, I was just... Sorry.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I think he would regret it as well.
Definitely.
I think when you're on that journey, especially when you're going for like 3 in a row, if you don't quite make it this season,
You want to help him do
the
it
thought
next.
of going, right, we're going to go and we're going to push on, we come really close, or whatever it might be. So yeah, I can't see it happening either, if I'm perfectly
He's
honest.
ours and he's staying with us.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Look, Huddersfield are another one of them teams that I noticed when watching them. They were very comfortable on the ball, especially sort of like when I'm talking about that, I mean like their back line. They were quite happy passing it around their back line into midfield, take control, turn, try to find something. Couldn't find anything, turn back into defence, pass it round a little bit. You know, they were comfortable on the ball, all of them. I think they had a lot of players who had played in the Championship last season. I felt like that showed as well.
Yeah.
Admittedly, they were at the wrong end of the table in the Championship.
But still.
But you could still see that quality there. The results haven't maybe quite gone for them, you know, this season, but they're right up there. You know, I think they're 5th now after the weekend's results. So they're going to be there or thereabouts, I think, because they did look like a really good team. They're the first team to stop us scoring at home.
I know.
This season.
How dare they?
Yeah, I know, but it was hard to tell. Another thing I was going to ask you, and I thought I'd leave it till we recorded the podcast, but it was hard to tell watching it on TV, but the Huddersfield fans seemed in good voice.
They were.
Yeah?
They were, to be fair. I mean, I think they sold out the away end. It was full top and bottom tier. Yeah, they were, to be fair, because I remember making a comment. I don't know who it was, whether it was to me, your dad or my mum, I can't remember. But I said that it was probably your dad, to be fair. I just said, we need to...
Shut them up.
We need to shut them up. Which we obviously didn't, but yeah, we were loud, but we could have been. I think we could have been louder.
Yeah, it was. They just seemed like they were
definitely getting behind their team.
I think it bodes well for us that we were able to live with that type of team and them type of players. I think. Yes, we didn't score. We couldn't find a way to break them down, but they couldn't find a way to break us down either.
We didn't concede any goals.
No,
that's the come away for that game, I reckon.
I tell you what, it was half time, and I was sitting there and I was thinking, I do really want us to win. But at the same time...
Yeah, you said to me as I was leaving, I hope you have a really horrible game.
No, I didn't say I hope it's a really horrible game. I said I hope it's a really boring game and we just win 1-0 with a really rubbish goal. That's what I actually said. So 0-0 at half-time. I wanted us to push on and get 3 points. Of course I did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was sort of thinking... At least I'm not missing too much here. I'm not missing like a 6-5 Dover. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought like it was just my luck that something like that was going to happen. I didn't think it was, but I was.
I've told my cousin Jane that she's not allowed to come to any games again. I think she was a jinx.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Look, I think Huddersfield made a slight adjustment at half-time in midfield as well, and that just sort of. The most of the attacking in the second half came from them. It really worked what they changed.
Yeah.
And it just felt like one of them games that one goal was going to win it. And as it turned out, that would have been the case if anybody could actually score.
To be fair though, when you do come away, it's difficult when you come away with a 0-0 like score for both teams. Obviously. It can either mean two things.
Yeah.
One, they are. Will you stop doing that because you put me out?
Sorry.
One, that they are both really good teams and they have trouble breaking each other down.
Yeah.
Or two, they're just really, really crap. And they just can't get.
It wasn't that though, was it?
But I think it was I think it was the fact that we are both good teams.
Yeah.
Couldn't break each other down. And it just.
I think as the season goes on, there was one chance. Elliot Lee had a free kick in the second half, knocked it in.
Yeah.
Scarr managed to head it back into the middle.
How well is he playing at the moment?
I know. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about him in a bit. But and no one could really finish it off. And I think that was probably about the closest, without really coming close in the second half that we sort of did. Concord didn't have much to do, as in saves.
I didn't think the goalkeeper.
No,
really.
Saves wise, there wasn't loads he had to do.
Yeah.
But he did well when they went through. Sort of later on, and he got down quick at that lad's feet and sort of took him out a little bit as he was taking the ball really well. I like a keeper that sort of I get really happy when I see something like that happening, because it shows that your keeper's switched on without having to do loads during the game. He's not saving shots left, right and centre. So when that comes up, he's almost sort of hyped up and on edge and ready to go. You know, he didn't have loads to do, but when he needed to be, he was there and he was ready, which is a really good look. Another clean sheet. At that point, it was our 7th in 12 games. And I think for me, it's the old adage of strikers win games, defences win championships, because, you know, it's all...
Oh, we'll fly in then, aren't we, with our defence?
But it's all well and good having a striker knocking in a hat-trick and winning you one game. But it's the solidity of the defence and your keeper. That's what's going to get you promoted in the end. Look, I am biased because I used to play in defence, but I'm just saying that, you know, that for me does ring true. You know, that strikers win games, but defences win.
Talking about you playing football, we were talking about my granddad playing for Charlton, and with one of the guys, your friend Rob. You know your friend Rob?
Yes.
Yes. I was talking to him in work, and we were talking about the money that players get paid and stuff like that. And my granddad probably got paid £2 a week or something ridiculous, or not at all.
Probably not at all. Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, do you know what? I wish I should have married a footballer." And Rob went, "Well, you did. It just wasn't very good." I was like, "Oh,
wow, thanks." Look, we only had one shot on target in the whole game. that wasn't concerning, was it? It was just one of them sort of games. I'd take it.
Yeah, I just, like I said, we couldn't break each other down, and I think the fact that we both came away with a point was good.
Yeah.
It was a good game. It was a good game. It wasn't boring.
No.
They all gave their all, the Wrexham players and the Huddersfield team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think 0-0. I was quite happy with that.
A half decent 0-0.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing I hate in football is when people say, "Oh, that was a really good 0-0." That I hate that. I don't think any 0-0 is right up there as a great game.
No.
But it was a half decent 0-0. I think that's the best you can hope for.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever have a rip-roaring 0-0. Even when you have them games when teams are at each other, back and forth, it's like a basketball game where they're just constantly one attacks, the next attacks, but the game ends 0-0. For me, that's still a bit flat, a flat finish. Yeah, all right, it might have been exciting while it was all going on, but I think it's goals that make it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there was goals, it would have been... Yeah, but the fact that we ended 0-0... against such a good team, I just think, I think I was quite happy with that. We came away with a point rather than losing 3.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Look, I think the most important thing that came out of the Huddersfield game was probably the fact that George Dobson didn't pick up a yellow card.
I think a lot of people were surprised that he didn't. But I think he's trying to rein himself in a little bit.
I don't think you can. I don't want him to rein himself in just to crack on and do...
No, I think he reined himself in because he wanted to play. He wanted to play at Charlton.
Because that's what I was going to say. I really wanted him to be available for Charlton. Obviously, the club that he played for before he played for us, he played over 100 games for them. I really wanted him to be available to be able to play in that game, and he was, and I think that was the most important thing from that one.
Defo.
David Taylor, after the Huddersfield game, said was a very hard game. They did their homework on us and both came out with a point. Yeah, I think that's it really. I think both managers had done their homework. They knew where the dangers were. They tried to nullify them as best they can. That's why we ended up with limited chances. And it was one of them games. And you never know. When you come the end of the season, you might look back at certain games like that one and go, it's a good point. It's a good point to have.
That point could be the difference between us in the playoffs or automatic promotion or relegation.
No. In the playoffs or not in the playoffs.
Not in the playoffs. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
100%. I think so. So on to the Charlton game.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, I skimmed past something in the notes, and the reason I skimmed past it is I wasn't sure when that comment was from, whether it was from this week or last week.
One day ago, so it was just...
No, it was. I didn't put that in today, so
okay.
that's the thing. So I won't read that one out, just in case I already read it out last week. Anyway.
Okay.
Let's get on to Charlton, the destroyer of men, the journey, I think we can call...
Or women.
Yes, I meant men as in the human race. Human.
Well, don't say...
All right. Yeah, but man.
PC. I get what you're saying.
Yes. PC off.
Yeah.
Look, we did well on Saturday. No, hear me out, right? We did well. We were up early. I think I got up at 6. I'd had my breakfast and stuff. Put the kettle on for a coffee. You got up. Went and woke our son up. Everyone got ready, did what they needed to do. We packed the car because we were staying over, like we said. And then we left. We were out the house for, not long after 7 o'clock. And we thought that'll be good, 4.5 hours. Try and get there, just before lunchtime. Park the car in the hotel. And then, we're ready for the game. And it was all going really well, though, wasn't it?
Yes, Ryan.
Until we were... This is so lucky. We were only about 15 minutes from the house, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then Siân turned to me and said, "Have you got the tickets?" And I turned back and I went, "I do not have the tickets.
It was Ryan's responsibility. I didn't even know where the tickets were in the house. So
No,
it was Ryan's responsibility.
I will take that one. So we had to turn around.
We did.
And we had to come back. Like I said, it's just lucky we went an hour down the road, or you know, and I think
or even worse, in London.
Yeah, but I think if you're there, you go to the ground, don't you, and go, look, I've lost my ticket. Can you help me out? Here's me registration, everything. Can you get us in? And I think that would have been okay. But we were just at that sort of like, you know, we were in that first hour of travel, so it's all like, we better shoot back and get the tickets, so there's no stress when we get there. So we did that. So it did take a little bit off our journey, didn't it? So
just a little bit.
Yeah. So it was a little bit. It was a little bit disappointing. Look, 4.5 hours, something like that. We had a little stop, didn't we? We got to the hotel about 12:15, and then parked the car up. Walked to the train station, got the train to Charlton, and then it was about a 10-15 minute walk-ish, 10-minute walk to Charlton. Met a few people outside.
We did.
It was really nice. We met lots of people. So we met Sky outside, who got off the bus.
Yep.
Cryptic, who's over from Tasmania. I sometimes, you know, when people don't use their real names on social media, I never really know whether to use their real names when we're discussing them. So we'll just say Cryptic.
Yeah.
I think most people will know who that is if they're active on sort of like Twitter and stuff like that. He's been on quite a few of the, you know, the X live things where you talk and stuff.
Yep.
Fearless in Devotion did one. He was on that a few weeks ago. So most people know who he is. We had a great chat with him. Who else did we meet? Steve from Dragon Chat.
Yes.
Had a good chat with Steve as well. And then we sort of did our live outside, headed into the ground. Not what we expected, was it?
No,
The ground. It was weird.
Just like the back of someone's yard.
Yeah, it was weird. It was sort of like, we had a beer. I got a few beers. I don't want to sound like some tourist, but London's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think we knew that anyway. But yeah, I mean...
Got a few beers.
40 quid for what we had was a bit steep.
We had a few beers, couple of soft drinks, a pie and a couple of sausage rolls, and it was like 40 odd quid. I was like, that's a lot.
But it didn't stop him from getting another beer at half time.
No, it didn't, no.
No.
But anyway, by the by. But yeah, it was weird. It was like we were drinking in a car park or something, wasn't it? It was just like, some big metal shed was there and we were drinking in a car park. It was so odd. It wasn't what I expected. Look, lovely ground though. Not to say it was some dump. It really wasn't. It wasn't Oldham levels of ground. It was, it was nice. Once you got to where your seats were, looked out at the ground and everything, it was decent. Yeah. I did really, I really enjoyed being there. Go on.
I would like to say it is, if you are 6 foot or taller, then you will struggle. There was a guy sitting behind us. He was with Dave. I didn't get his name. No. But he's tall. Yeah. And he was like, basically it was like scrunched up because the seats are so close together.
Yeah, they were. But in the away end, I reckon they do that on purpose a lot of the time anyway, because they know everyone just stands up. So I think that's probably why it was. Our son was struggling. When he was sat down, his knees were touching the seat in front. He's only 12.
Yeah.
And he's quite small. So, but yeah, look, nice ground. And it was another one of them moments for me where you sort of sit there and you look out and then you go... to be where we are now against a team who, you don't go back that far into history and they were season after season after season in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And you're sat there playing them now, whereas, 10 years ago, a couple of years ago, we were in the National League. We were playing non-league football. So it was another one of them moments where you go,
this
nice.
Is good.
Yeah, it's decent. I could do this every week. Do you know what I mean?
No,
not every week. I couldn't do it. No, maybe not.
No, I need a weekend at home.
Yes.
We've had 2 weekends away. I need a weekend at home.
Yes, yeah, definitely. We met David Williams as well.
We did. Not my brother.
No. I think you could stop saying that now.
I said that to Dave yesterday.
Yeah.
My surname was Williams and my brother's called Dave.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm sure he was very interested in that.
So
comment.
he actually sat behind us, wasn't he, during the game as well?
They were sitting there first, and I said, "Oh, we'll just sit with you guys."
Yeah. So, 2 changes to the lineup. So,
I'm not going to talk about my granddad's house.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that. So, on the
very emotional time for me. You completely forgot.
Sorry. So on the way. So obviously we've talked about it before, where Siân's. Sorry. You're not going to talk about my granddad.
Talk about my granddad.
Yeah. So we mentioned before, Siân's granddad used to play for Charlton. I think it was the reserves. We're not quite sure. We haven't got the full history of it, have we? But
no, but I know he was 15/16.
So yeah, probably
1935, 36.
I don't think they had academies back then, but sort of like a very youth player at the time. Before.
Definitely.
So we knew Siân's mum had given her the address of the house that he used to live on.
And the number.
And the number, yeah. So it was like, right. So I said, we'll go and have a look before the game. As it turned out, it was literally on the route from the train station to the ground. So we got there, Siân took a picture of the house outside, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And if standing at their front door, I mean, it was a little weird taking a picture of a random person's front door, but you did it anyway.
Yeah, my mum asked me to.
Yeah.
So.
And then standing at that front door, you could see the stadium from where, because it was literally just behind the next row of houses. So yeah, that was really nice. But yeah.
It was.
You enjoyed it?
I did. I was like, there it is! People were like looking around, they're like, what is she on?
There was so many people walking down this particular road to get to the ground. Siân had just stopped and was just taking photos of people around to walk around her and everything. But yeah, you didn't care, did you?
Nah, I didn't.
Anyway, 2 changes. Rathbone in for Cannon. Nice little surprise as well. Was Max was back.
Yeah.
So
I heard rumours, but
I hadn't, you see, because I hadn't really because I think on the way down on the Saturday, I obviously hadn't touched my phone all morning, and the Friday before I'd worked sort of like a day shift. So sort of been up early in the morning, worked until 5 in the evening. Come home, I'd had to go and fill the car with petrol. We had to take our dog. So I'd had a few days where I haven't really been into social media that much. So I hadn't really seen any rumours. So when I heard he was playing, it was sort of like, wow. Yeah. It completely hit me like a wet fish.
It wasn't as if he was like, right, we'll put him on the bench and then we'll bring him on. He was literally in the...
Straight back in.
In the lineup,
yeah. And so then it was like, well, what do we do with Eoghan O'Connell? And we look at the team sheet and it's like, well, Owen wasn't there. So Dan Scarr was there. And obviously Owen was another one who had played for Charlton before. Dan Scarr kept his place in the middle. Max went back on the right. And then
on the left.
On the left. So I suppose it now begs the question, doesn't it?
There's always a week where we have to go, is it him or is it him? And it's like,
This is the week. This is another week when we have to do this. We have to go Dan Scarr or Eoghan O'Connell.
Do you know what? Obviously,
all right, I'll make it worse then. Max Cleworth or Eoghan O'Connell. But that's not the question that we're asking.
Dan Scarr or Eoghan. I think it's difficult because Eoghan O'Connell is one of the OGs for me. But watching Dan Scarr in the middle and the way that he is with the ball and his presence as that defensive,
unit.
Unit. That's what he is, a unit. Yeah. I think it's difficult to replace him at this moment in time.
Imagine.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. Eoghan O'Connell is like he's good. He's good when he's got the ball. But I don't know. Dan Scarr's just got this. He's big. He's tall-ish. I think I'd hate to say it, but I think Dan Scarr for me.
I go back 4 weeks and say the answer's different, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely.
Completely different.
It's Eoghan O'Connell, Max Cleworth, Tom O'Connor,
all day long. It's a different... 4 weeks ago, that is not the answer that you get. But I think it shows a couple of things. It shows the strength in depth that we've got.
Yep.
And then you've got, I mean, and I'm not just, strength in depth is a term that's bandied about all over the place all the time, you know, by lots of different clubs. But in this instance, this is pure strength in depth, because you've replaced a player that was 3-4 weeks ago unreplaceable. And then you've completely switched, going, well, you can't take him out now. So, that just goes to show the quality that is there, because all of a sudden, to be able to replace an unreplaceable player with somebody else who is possibly playing better than the unreplaceable player was playing, how, it's just mental, isn't it?
It just throws all kinds of things.
And then you look in the middle, and then you go, well, is it Andy Cannon or is it Ollie Rathbone? And then you go, again,
they're both really
amazing.
Good.
What options to have? Do you know what I mean? And then you've got, all right, Barney's pretty much on his own on the right, but then you've got McLean, who, might have struggled the last few games, but then you've got Ravon, who we haven't seen enough of, but there's quality there from the bits that you've seen.
Yeah.
You can move McLean into the middle. There are certain areas that perhaps we don't have that same strength in depth. But I think we're in a really good place at the moment. I'm sort of skirting around it because I'm not sure how to answer it at the moment. But I think I did say to you on Saturday, I think I said Dan Scarr, didn't I, to you on Saturday? He just seems to win everything.
Yeah.
In the air.
His head is always in the air.
Yeah, and I think his positioning when they're attacking is just about spot on. Mm-hmm. And I think selfishly, perhaps I feel a little bit more comfortable when Dan's there than I do when Owen's there. Maybe. That might just be me. But I think when the ball's coming, so, say we have a corner, right? No, not a corner. That's a bad example. So say we're attacking, yeah, and the attack breaks down and they lob a ball forward, and it's maybe 2-on-2 at the back. So two of their attackers, two of our defenders. If I look in that moment and Dan Scarr's there and that ball's coming over, I think I feel more confident in that situation than maybe I do if it was Eoghan O'Connell there.
But Eoghan O'Connell has played phenomenally since.
I'm not saying he hasn't. I am not saying he hasn't. But it's one of them situations where you've got to pick one of them.
Yeah.
So for some people will be watching this screaming, going, no. Eoghan O'Connell all day long. And I think it is really close.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I think that momentum and run of games is just with Dan at the moment, and I would like to see that continue.
Yeah.
For now. And Parky does this thing so well, doesn't he, where he just makes players wait. He brings them in, but they never straight in. He makes them wait.
But then when they do come in, they do make an impact.
Yes.
Although there may be a few that are mistakes, but...
Yeah,
recently he's made some really good choices.
Yes, look, started well, but they had. Is it a chance? I don't know. They had that free kick from out wide, and the cross. He sort of crossed it in towards the sort of back post. A touch and it was in. Arthur didn't move. It was one of them where the keeper can't move really, can't go towards the ball because then he nick on it and it's straight past him. You have to sort of stand your ground and wait and see if anybody gets it. And everyone missed it and it just whizzed past the post. And I think me and you looked at each other and went, that's not the best of starts. But we went 1-0 up on 15 minutes.
Yeah.
15, 16, something like that. Tommy's cross, it came off a defender somewhere in there. We thought it was the keeper at first.
Yeah.
We thought Tom O'Connor had scored.
Yeah.
Then we thought it was the keeper. It wasn't. It was one of the players that were in the middle. It deflected.
They gave it to Tom anyway.
No, they didn't. They've given it as an own goal.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, so it's deflected off one of them players in the middle and it's gone in. 1-0 up. carnage in the away end as usual.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was, to be fair.
I was eating my sausage roll.
Yeah.
I had my mouth full and I was going, whoa!
I didn't realise we'd scored at first. I don't think a lot of Wrexham fans realised we'd scored. It just sort of ended up in the net.
Yeah, and we just all...
And then everyone was like...
Oh,
and then yeah, I know it was. Yeah, it was a
hence
bit, a little
why
bit.
I was just eating my sausage roll.
Yeah, I know. Rathbone, I think 6 or 7 minutes after that, they had a shot and Rathbone cleared it off the line, and the ball came out, and it was from that situation they crossed it back in, and it was that. It's such a weird scenario because. If it sort of came that there was a defender at the back post, he heads it up, like looped it. And then what I did, as he did it, because that's the sort of thing that you do.
Looks like you were going to get up then to
demonstrate.
I
was, yeah. No, I wasn't, no. And then that's what you sort of do to loop it to the back post. So when he headed it and I saw it going up in the air, my eyes went to the attacker, the Charlton attacker that was at the back post, to watch him to see what he was going to do with it. But then slightly out of my field of vision, it just dropped in the net. And I was like, oh, I wasn't even watching the ball. I literally thought he'd looped it to the guy who was on the back post. And I was watching him and it just went in. It's a bit of an annoying one, really, because it just sort of fell perfectly, for them to equalise, go 1-1. And I don't know. It's one of them that it's a 50-50 one where some people go, keeper should have been backpedaling, should have got on it, and should have dealt with that. And then you watch it a couple more times and you go, I don't think he had any chance of getting to that. And the way it looped up over him, sort of deceived him a little bit. But look, by the by. It was. We nearly went in front a couple of minutes later because Elliot Lee hit the bar. We were all off our feet. Well, I say we're off our feet.
We were off our feet anyway.
I think it was Barney's cross, wasn't it?
Our feet? We were on our feet, not off our feet. We were off our seats.
I don't know. It's just...
we were off our seats and we weren't off.
Such a long weekend.
Because if you say off your feet, you're sitting down.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, we were standing up, basically.
Yeah, he hit the bar anyway. Elliot hit the bar. It was a bit of a weird game.
Oh my God, it was so weird.
The ref went down injured, didn't he? And because you said to me, you said, I've never seen this before.
Never, ever. I don't think, anytime I've watched a game, whether it was at Wrexham or whatever, I've never, ever seen the allocated ref in the middle of a game go down. But I think it was Dobson caught his knee.
I think you said at the time you said Rathbone. I think.
Maybe it was Rathbone then. But someone caught his knee or whatever, and he went down. But
then he carried on for about 10-15 minutes, and then
literally it was about 5 minutes from half time. It just said carry on for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
mate.
I know. And then he had to. So then he had to swap with the fourth official. So we got a new ref
who's never ever reffed a League One game.
Okay.
In the last 3 seasons anyway.
Okay. And then, so he came on, and then we had 10 minutes of time added on at the end of the first half. And it was just like, we got to half time, and I was like, I felt like I've already seen 90 minutes of this.
I put on Twitter, I went, this game is so strange. I said, the ref went down, the ref went off. I said, what next? Are they going to bring their mascots on as a striker?
Yeah. But I mean, second half, it was very back and forth still. Rathbone had a shot well saved by their keeper. They had a free kick from the edge of the box, which I was going to say Arthur saved well, but he had to make the save. But it was pretty much right at him, really. He put it over, and then Andy Cannon came off the bench.
Yes.
And 73 seconds later. He scored. So ball went out wide to him. He was in loads of space. He put it in the middle for Mullin. Mullin the defender slid, sort of blocked Mullin's shot. It just ended up back with Andy, and Andy tucked it away. If Andy wouldn't have scored though, and then you had Ollie in the middle. Ollie was pretty much free. If I was Ollie, I'd have been fuming if he hadn't squared that. But he scored, so it was fine.
It was okay.
But he had to score. Once he decided to shoot, he had to score because there was a ball across.
I was a bit disappointed with Ollie yesterday. On Saturday, sorry. I thought, he played well in parts, but I don't think he played amazingly when he had the ball. Like, he had it where he had a chance at getting it in. He was literally in the goal mouth, and he headed it away from the goal. Like, and I'm going to say something for you now, right? I don't know which way to go with Ollie yesterday, because I thought he had an all right game. I'm not gonna lie, you didn't. No.
I know plenty of other people who didn't think he had a very good game. I saw 2 people give him man of the match yesterday. So just to throw that in the mix as well. Yeah, I don't think sort of his chasing down. The sort of donkey work that he did up front, blocking stuff, chasing stuff down, I thought he did very well. I thought he was quite tireless in what he was doing there. I do slightly agree with what you were saying. I don't think he held the ball up as well. It was sort of bouncing off him a little bit here, there, and everywhere.
And I
don't think he had 2 chances.
When he gets the ball, it's like he caxes himself, and he's like, "Oh my God, what do I?" And he loses it all the time.
Yeah.
And then when he gets past the ball, same thing. He loses it, and I'm losing faith in him. Yeah. And I know there's people out there who absolutely love Ollie Palmer, but I'm kind of
Okay.
I'm going off him.
All right. Okay. I'm not sure. I just don't think Saturday was his worst game.
No.
Let's put it like that.
No.
I wouldn't. It wasn't a game that I watched that I would go, I'm going to go all in on him, because I don't think he played very well. I thought he played all right, if I'm completely honest, on Saturday. If you come to me and go, how did he play? I thought, quite decent. I thought he was all right. Going forward, maybe not amazing, which is perhaps an argument for that's what his job is. What you want your striker to do. But he's there as sort of like a bit of a foil, isn't he, for your more attacking and creative players, and someone's got to do that work.
Yeah.
But there is an argument that you could get players in who do that dirty work and can score a few more goals than perhaps Ollie is doing at the moment, So maybe, I think Ollie is something we're going to talk about in future.
I'm on the bench with
on the bench, yeah. Yeah, I think, we will talk about him a little bit more later on. Look, we had 20 minutes to hold on. I think they started attacking. Ravon, he just scythed the man down, and I was
best
like,
yellow card ever.
that's what it was, mate. I was like, brilliant. That's a great yellow card to get. Fantastic, well done, mate. Because it was right at the end of the game.
Turns out it was the worst yellow card he could have got.
Yeah, look, and he did the right thing in that moment for me.
He did.
The problem I have with it is I'm not sure we should have been in that position.
No.
We were the other end of the pitch. We could have wasted loads more time than we actually did, stuck it in the corner, make them get it back. We could have done that a couple of times. It's a bit ugly doing that, and it's a bit boring, but I think that's what it was needed. We played it about a little bit too much. We lost it. They attacked. Ravon decided to take the yellow, which I think was probably the right thing to do in that instance. Just so happens from that free kick, ball comes in, the big lad wins the header. It bounces down. We'll gloss over it. Max gets a penalty gets given for Max handballing it, and they score it 1-2. 2-2. Sorry, I'm losing track. 2-2. Game done. 97th minute. Bang, out the stadium. Get back to the hotel. Right. I said I was glossing over it, but let's go back to it now. The handball. Parky was adamant. No penalty. Adamant it wasn't a penalty. Let's ask your opinion first. I know that, look, I know people who've gone, no chance is that a penalty. People have said, yes, it's a penalty. What do you think?
I've watched it in slow motion.
Yes. Yeah, I think you've watched the same slow-mo I've watched.
I think I watched it at normal speed. I've obviously watched it live, but couldn't see because it was at the other end of the pitch, so didn't have a good view because there was obviously players surrounding him, so didn't really see it then. Watched it at normal speed on the highlights. Again, could see his arms behind his side, by his side. But then looking at slow motion, it looks like what's happened is, yes, he has got his hands by his side, but then I think he lifts them up to kind of balance himself, and then he moves his arm, and it does hit his arm. So I think it was.
As unpopular as it is, I think everything's worse in slow motion, especially like the potential red card challenges and all that sort of stuff. I don't like looking at them in slow motion because I always think they look worse. But in this instance, I think what you see happen is he's got his arm by his side. If he just would have left it there, I don't think it's a penalty all day long. What you see in the slow-mo from behind the goal, is that the one you've seen? Behind?
No, I've seen it from...
Okay, but there's one from behind the goal, and he's got it by his side. The ball's come to him, and he just does the slightest movement out of his arm, like that. Bang. And it just looks like
he's done it on
gestured
purpose
towards the ball. And I'm going to say something even more controversial. I think he has gestured towards the ball because I think in that moment you realise it's going past you, and he's just slightly stuck his arm out just to stop it going past him.
And hopefully he didn't get seen.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened. People will have such dividing opinions about this.
There already has been.
And do I think it's a soft penalty? Oh, God. 100%. That's such a soft penalty. But in the modern game now, I think it probably is a penalty.
He gets so much hate.
It is what it is.
Hang him.
I think it is a penalty. And I think if that would have been the other way around and it wasn't given to us, we'd have been fuming and we'd have been adamant that was a penalty.
Oh yeah, of course we are.
Yeah, but I mean,
of course we would be.
Yeah, but I just think it probably it's one of them, right, where people go, "Oh, I wish we had VAR sometimes," right? I heard that comment, right? But if we had VAR,
it would have been given as a
there
penalty.
is no chance VAR would have overturned that.
That would have slow motion.
They would have stuck. That would have stuck.
Yeah.
There's no way that would get overturned.
All the way back to the hotel last night. We were on the train. I was like, nah. I said Charlton equalised for a penalty that they shouldn't have even had.
Yeah.
But then obviously I've watched it a couple of times and I thought,
you've gone, oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Look, let's move on. I think it was just heartbreaking, wasn't it? It was one of them heartbreaking games, and it's been absolutely ages since we've lost points in injury time. Because we're the ones scoring right at the end of the games, winning points in injury time, winning games in injury time. It doesn't happen to us very much. Do you know what I mean? It really doesn't. So do you want to know how long ago it is since
how
it
long
happened?
ago was it, Ryan?
Wow,
Mr. Factual.
I had a little look and I had some time, so I was scrolling.
Was this
through.
whilst I was doing the driving?
Yes, coming back. Yeah. So we conceded a 90th minute goal against Bradford at the racecourse last season. Andy Cook scored when they beat us 1-0 at the racecourse in League Two. But that's not injury time. That's the 90th minute. So that was 89 something. So the last time we lost a game in injury time was Sheffield United. In the replay, we were 1-1 and we conceded two goals. But what I did say is we lost points. So that's a cup game. So forget about that one as well. So the last game where we have dropped points in injury time, please feel free to correct me if I have got this wrong. I don't think I have, though. We were there as well. Was York. York in the National League,
Yeah.
where they scored in the 92nd minute to make it 1-1. That's, I think, is the last time that we dropped points in injury time.
So depressing.
A long time ago, that is as well.
It is a long time ago.
So I think we've had a decent run. We dropped to third. Wickham beat Leyton Orient 3-0, so they move up to second. You were literally 10 seconds off getting your prediction right.
I'm so gutted.
I know. I was.
So good. Well, neither of us got it right, so it's good.
I was gutted for you, if I'm honest. Oh no, wait. No, the opposite.
No, I wasn't.
The opposite of that, I wasn't. So there. Look, JPH message said, looked to me like he turned towards the ball, even though his arm was by his side. Whether that qualifies as a penalty, I don't know. If they play like that away from home, they will win most games. Thought they played really well. Fun game to watch. And end of the day, 5 points from Rotherham, Huddersfield and Charlton, with 2 of them on the road, is a decent return.
Absolutely.
That is it's a very good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at them 3 teams, you know, Rotherham, Huddersfield, Charlton, 2 big teams. 2 of them were in the Championship last season. We've played 2 of them away from home. And in them 3 games, we've come away from 5 points out of a possible 9. I don't think you can argue too much. Although it probably should have been 7, but hey ho. You know, we move on.
We move.
Look, if you do want to get in touch, you can get in touch on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Where else are we? LinkedIn, you said. We're on there.
Yeah, let's not talk about
Okay.
LinkedIn, because I'm still not 100% sure how to use LinkedIn.
Okay.
I mean, it got me a job.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how I can.
You can email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com. Look, we've been banging on for ages today. So, quick update on the Fantasy EFL. First is O. Roberts, second Kent Gulliford, and third is Drew Campbell. It's a break from league action on this weekend. So it's the FA Cup first round match.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I would like to speak now.
Okay. All right. But I'm just
Give yourself a break.
I'm going to speak about the FA Cup first,
Oh,
and
okay.
then
All
explain
right,
what that is. So
then.
for anybody who doesn't know what the FA Cup is, I'm sure everybody does, but there we go. There's 6 preliminary or qualification rounds prior to this round that we're playing this weekend, which are contested by non-league teams, so from the National League down. 745 teams will enter the FA Cup this season, from the Premier League down to the 9th tier of English football. You will hear this round being called the first round proper. So all the prelims and the qualifications done, and they do tend to call this the first round proper. So 124 teams contest the first round proper. Premier League and Championship teams don't enter until the 3rd round. We're away to Harrogate on Sunday, the 3rd of November at 3:30 p.m. And there you go. So the reason it's been moved, by the way, to Sundays, it's actually on TV in the UK.
Which we find really bizarre, because we've got AFC Wimbledon and Wimbledon playing against each other. No, we haven't, sorry.
AFC Wimbledon and MK Dons.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Also, Bristol Rovers and Western-super-Mare was another one.
Yeah, but I think AFC Wimbledon and MK Dons.
But that has been moved to Sunday now, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. So.
Oh, it might be on the tally then.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So the game is obviously away at Harrogate Stadium, which is Wetherby Road, otherwise known as the Exercise Stadium.
Yeah, so there's a website in the UK called exercise.co.uk.
Never heard of it.
No, well, Google it if you want. And it's named after them.
Don't care.
So, okay.
So they've got a capacity of 5,000, and we've been allocated. 2,000 of those seats. 2,000 of those are seated. The rest obviously standing. It's 122 miles away, which is about 2 hours 45.
Do you know what the allocation is? Because I saw the allocation and I wasn't really sure.
I will tell you now. It's 1,347. I want to say.
Okay, that's fine.
I want to be exact. Let's do this.
Look, it's a game that we're not going to be going to.
What did I say?
1,347.
No, it's 1,058.
Okay, so nowhere near.
But still an all right allocation considering.
Yeah.
So it's allocation of 1,058 tickets. Obviously, like I said, they play in yellow and black stripes. What are their nickname? Do you remember? We were playing a quiz on the way home in the car.
The Sulphurites.
Sulphurites, yeah.
I've discovered a hidden
Ryan's
talent.
going on mastermind.
I literally know practically every team's nickname, which I didn't realise I knew until we played this little quiz in the car, but it was really fun. But anyway, move on.
So the last game that we played against them, it was a 0-0 draw in March this year in League 2 at the racecourse. The last away game at Wetherby Road was a 2-2 draw in League 2 in November 2023. A game that we were 2-0 up by...
It's when Arthur broke his jaw.
Was that the game?
Yeah, so it was against Harrogate when Arthur broke his jaw. Yeah.
So this is their fifth consecutive season in League 2 after being promoted from the National League in the 20 season, and they finished 13th in League 2 last season. I can't see them coming up to League 1 anytime soon. So they played Notts County last Saturday and they lost 1-0. So far this season they've won 4, drawn 3 and lost 7. They're 17th on 15 points from 14 games. They've only won 1 of the last 7. So lost 4, drawn 2, won 1.
Yeah.
It's pretty crap, isn't it? Their top scorer is Ellis Taylor, who has scored only 3 goals. It's mad, isn't it, that their top scorer has only scored 3 goals.
Our top scorer's only got 5, haven't they?
Yeah, it was better than 3.
Oh, all right then.
So predictions for the FA Cup. First round proper.
I'm going to go for 3-1.
Okay, let me just... let's get this down.
Okay.
Let's get this down. Why am I in Christmas presents?
I don't know, so I'm going... God, you're so unprepared.
I know. All right. Right. Let me just insert a...
Oh my God, this is awful.
Go on.
3-1. I've said it 3 times now.
You haven't, you liar. I'm going to go...
Should we have another big break while you try and work out what the score's going to be?
I'm going to go 4-0.
Okay. All right. Then. You go with that.
Yeah, well, don't you worry.
Yeah. Anyway, a quick shout out for Dragon Chat. So it's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 Zoom calls a week. One is on Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. And the other one is on Thursday at 7 p.m. and that is for men. All the details of how to get on these calls are down in the description if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to the show, head over to YouTube and you'll find all the information there. Alternatively, what you can do is follow Steve Lloyd on Twitter. It's at DragonChatWXMFC. Quiz time. Let's get this wrapped up because I am starving now.
Starving, tired, everything.
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Question 1.
Yes.
October the 22nd marked the 160th anniversary of the club. This fell on a Tuesday. In 10 years' time, on what day will our 170th anniversary fall?
Wednesday. I don't know. Tuesday. I don't know.
You know how it works from one year to the next.
Yeah, but then you've got leap years in that as well, so it misses a day. I really don't know that. That is a long question for me to think about.
It's really not. It's a Sunday, so you just go ahead 12 days. So you go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I know what 12 is.
Yes, it's easy.
That is a disgusting question.
It's not, because it's 10 years, so it's 1 day for each year, and there's 2 leap years. So you just go forward 12. That's all you do. So wrong. 2. Which championship team could be found as a surname in Charlton Athletic's lineup on Saturday? Do you want me to read that again, or are you happy? Which championship team could be found as a surname in Charlton Athletic's lineup on Saturday?
I don't know, Sunderland.
It was the guy who scored the own goal. Connor Coventry. There we go. I thought you'd have seen it. No. I purposely didn't mention it before, but I thought you'd have looked. I thought you'd have seen it. No. Question 3. We play Harrogate on Sunday in the FA Cup.
We do.
But how many points did we get against them in the 2 league games last season? Combined points total.
Okay, so we lost 1-0 at home. So that's no points. No, 1 point.
1.
No points.
We got no points against them last season. We played them twice, so.
Well, we didn't, when we played them at Wetherby Road, they beat us 2-0.
Just to pile of pressure on, you've literally just read this out.
Yeah, no, but I can't remember.
No, I know. Which is why you're struggling. But just to pile a bit more pressure on.
I don't know, 3.
No, it's 2. So we drew 2-2 away, which, as we said, is when Arthur broke his jaw. So that's 1 point. And we drew 0-0 at home, which is another 1 point. So it's 2. So, yeah. Question 4. Let's see if we can get off the mark. We have been knocked out of the FA Cup in the last 2 seasons. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure you're going to get this one. We have been knocked out of the FA Cup in the last 2 seasons by Championship opposition. So Blackburn in 23-24. Sheffield United in 22-23. But which League 2 team knocked us out in 21-22?
They might not even be in League 1 now.
2.
League 2. I don't know, Port Vale.
Port Vale?
Yeah.
No. Do you want to know who it was?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Harrogate.
I was going to swear then.
So that's quite interesting, though, isn't it?
No, it's
that
not.
We're playing them on Saturday.
No, it's Sunday.
Sunday, 3:30. Yeah.
Wetherby Road.
Question 5. You remember all the stats now.
122 miles away. 2 hours 45.
But you can remember the results.
No.
God. Right, question 5. Come on.
Right.
Yeah? Who scored our last FA goal in the FA Cup?
Mullen.
No.
Marriott.
No.
Palmer.
No.
I don't know. Cannon.
It was obvious. Yes, it was.
Was it Cannon?
You can't have it on the 4th attempt.
Yes, I can.
No. That is a big fat 0 from this week.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to...
It was obviously our last game in the FA Cup was the Blackburn game. We went 1-0 up and then they pummeled us for the other.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's no good remembering it after I've given you the answer.
Because you didn't give me the answer. I said Cannon. You were working and I watched it on my own.
Yes.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, there we go. So
that seems so long ago.
I hope you did better at home than Siân did.
I'm very tired, is my excuse.
Yeah, you must be knackered.
I'm exhausted.
Look, this show's a little bit longer than normal this week because I think...
Is it?
Yeah. I think I don't know what it is. I think we had a lot to get through.
Yeah.
We're very tired. We've tried our best.
Well, Sarah said that, because we obviously mentioned in our last episode that, we're always try and be authentic.
Yeah.
And then she said that they wouldn't want us any other way.
Good.
So
I'm glad because I'm not sure you're
because that's the way.
Next weekend, we're not able to go to Harrogate next weekend. So
we have no money left. Joking.
So we'll be nicely refreshed next weekend on it. Even though I think we're on it anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah, most of the time. But we'll actually, 2 weekends in a row of away games and travelling, it is tough, yeah. I mean,
especially working.
If it was just our job, it'd be easy because you don't have to work 1 day a week or 2 days a week, but it's not, unfortunately. So There we go. Look, thanks very much for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.